Hi everyone, Chris here. Today we're going to be doing a science experiment based on the 79 AD volcano Mount Vesuvius, which was a volcano that I think some of you guys might have heard of that affected the town of Pompeii way back in the distant past. So in order to do this experiment, you're going to need kinetic sand or sand to make up the volcano. If you want to get super crafty, you could definitely make it out of paper mache, but I think it would be really fun to make it out of some kinetic sand. You'll also need some popsicle sticks and some glue because we're going to be creating some buildings. We're kind of going to try to create Pompeii and see what happens when we explode the volcano. And then to actually make the volcano explode, you're going to need some baking powder, some vinegar, and some red food dye. So you can do this experiment inside or outside. If you're outside, there's going to be a little bit less of a mess, but if you're inside, you may want to have a pan or put down some newspaper in order to prevent messes. But make sure that you keep some paper towel handy just in case there's a little bit of some messes. To make our building, we're going to put down 2 popsicle sticks, put glue on each of the corners, and then place 2 more popsicle sticks on top. And that forms our base, and then we're going to repeat this step, placing popsicle sticks the opposite direction and working our way up, making sure to put glue on each of the corners while we do it. Now that our building is done, we can wait a little while to let it dry, and while it's drying, we can make our volcano. So as you can see here, I have my building. It's a little bit of a tiny building, but if you guys have a lot of popsicle sticks, you can make some big towers, you can make multiple buildings if you like. Also, if you have any paint or markers, you could color the outside to make it look cool. But for now, I'm just gonna keep mine plain wooden building. And while I'm letting this dry, the glue dry, I'm gonna be making the volcano out of kinetic sand. The first time I played with kinetic sand was 2 summers ago at AOK, and it was super fun. I know a lot of you guys probably like to play with kinetic sand too, so hopefully this will be a lot of fun. So I have a little tin right here that I'm gonna use to have the base for my volcano, and I'm going to open up my kinetic sand bag and pour it into here, and then I'm gonna start to form the volcano. Now that I got the bag open, we're gonna pour the kinetic sand into the tin. Alternatively, you could just pour it onto your table or on some newspaper, but we just don't want to make too much of a mess, so I put it on a pan. So this is super fun to play with. So before I make the volcano, I might just play with it for a little bit. It's really weird texture, and it feels really cool when it comes off your hand. But we're gonna be trying to form this into a volcano, and I'm gonna try to keep the volcano on this side, and then I'm gonna put my building right here, and then when we put in the baking soda and the vinegar with the food coloring, we'll get to see what happens to our building that we made. Alrighty, so we got our sand right here, and I'm going to form it into the volcano, pulling everything together, kind of pushing it up into a little mountain. And then right at the top of the mountain, we need to make a hole in order to fit all of the stuff needed for the explosion. All right, so our volcano is now nice and formed with a crater at the top that will be able to fit our baking soda, our vinegar, and our red food dye. Alrighty, so now that we finished creating our volcano and we created the crater, the hole at the top of the volcano, we're gonna put in the ingredients needed to make the volcano explode. So what you'll need is your baking soda as well as your red food coloring. So we're going to pour our baking soda at the top into the crater. And you want a fair bit of baking soda. So try to put in, I would say that is a good amount. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your red food dye, open this up, and then we're gonna pour a few squirts of our red food dye into the crater of the volcano. Perfect. So when you're all ready and you have your building all set up and you're ready for the explosion, it's time to grab our vinegar, and we're gonna be pouring the vinegar right into the crater, and we can see what happens to our building. All right, are you guys ready? It's gonna be a big explosion, I hope. Wow! Oh my goodness. Here, let's pour a little bit more vinegar in and see what happens. Oh my goodness. Mount Vesuvius has erupted. And our building, it's getting some magma on it, some lava. And you can kind of pour it in and see what happens. So that's our experiment, everyone. Wow, that was a super fun experiment. I know I enjoyed myself. I hope all of you guys at home enjoyed yourselves too. I would love to see other people's explosions. So make sure you guys take photos and videos of your explosions so that I'd be able to look at them later. So I hope everyone had a great time in this experiment and you have a great rest of your day. Make sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time.